Hello guys, we want to look at these particular questions, and it says how to find the range and domain of a polynomial function. Now they say the function f of x is defined by fx, which is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 5. To find the range of the function f of x and find the domain of the function f of s. Now, the domain of a polynomial function, what linear functions, quadratic functions, are all real numbers. All real numbers. Please take note of that. They are all real numbers. Meaning that from what? Minus infinity to what? To plus infinity. But which is the answer to this question? If you want to actually find the domain of this function, all real. So that means that all the values of x are from minus infinity to what? To plus infinity. So that means it should not be closed. It should be bracket, because we have closed bracket and we have the open bracket. So this is open bracket, this is open bracket, open at both ends. If you close it like this, it's wrong. If you close it like this, it's wrong. So I think the best answer you want to write in this format is that particular answer. Now let's move to what? The range. That is the main thing for today. Now, don't forget that I've told you to find domain of a polynomial function, linear function, quadratic function. If I want to find a domain of x squared minus 1, it's still all real number. X plus 1, all real numbers. X squared plus 5x plus 10, all real number. Domain is not difficult. Now, this is where we are going to do a little work. Now, which is the range? Now, recall that the function f of x is equal to y. Therefore, we're going to say y equal to what? X squared plus 3x plus 5. Now, in this case now, to find range are what? Range are values of x. Values of what? Of x, of y. Range are values of y. So how do we make y the subject of formula here? Simply what? Just what? Say y. Let's take y to the other side. We're going to have x squared plus 3x plus 5 minus y equal to 0. So if you do it like that, now what does that mean? It means that we compare with ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, our y will not be our 5 minus y will not be our c. So we're using this formula. All over 2a. That's what we want to use. So now, if we want to use that formula now, what I want to do now is simply just what? Minus what's our b? B is what? 3 plus or minus square root of b is what? 3 all square minus 4 into bracket. What is our a? A is 1. C is what? What is c? C is 5 minus y, or divide by what? 2 into bracket 1. Now this is our y. Now to get y, our x rather. But in this x now, because when you want to find range, you make what? Y x the subject of formula. Once you go along with the course, you understand what I'm saying. If you want to find range, you make what? X the subject of formula in the given function. Then that means you turn the function itself to y. Then you now make x the subject of formula. And that's what I'm trying to do here by making x the subject, because this one I'm to calculate x. So if I make x the subject of formula, I will not be able to calculate y from the equation that x will bring out for us with a condition that will be attached. Now, for example, now I will not have problem with minus 3. All this one I will not. Where I will have problem is that where the equation can be undefined is this root. This root now, if this root give me a negative sign, if I have any negative sign inside the square root, everything will give me mark error, meaning undefined rather. It will give me undefined. And a function must be defined under either domain, range, or codomain. It must be defined. Your function must be defined. So you now make this function undefined under the condition that everything here should when it's less than what? 0. But when it is defined, it is when it is what? Greater than 0. So what we are going to greater or equal to 0. So everything inside the square root must be greater or equal to 0. Everything. Go and watch my video where I told you whenever the square root is at the numerator or is just standing as an equation, the function inside the square root must be greater or equal to 0. But if it's at the numerator, at the denominator, and there's a square root at the denominator, that means it should just be greater than 0. So in that case now, we are going to assume that since the square root is up, is at the numerator, then we are going to what? Take it as greater than or equal to 0. If it's at the denominator, it will have been greater, just only greater than 0. We remove the equal to. So since it's at the numerator, we go ahead. So is this one that we are going to deal with? We forget about others, because this is where the answer will come from. So this one will now be 9 minus 4 into bracket 5 minus y greater than or equal to 0. Open the bracket. 9 minus what? 20 plus what? 4y greater than or equal to 0. So what we are going to do now is to make y the subject of formula. So how do we go about that? How do we go about it? So we continue with the equation. This minus will give us what? Minus 11 plus 4y greater than or equal to 0. So we bring it up. Let's say minus 11 plus 4y greater than or equal to 0. See, therefore, I want to have it as what? Take this one to the other side, minus 11 to cross the equality sign. You have 4y greater than or equal to what? 11. Divide both sides by what? 4. So y is greater than or equal to what? 11 over 4. So therefore, we say this is what? The range. So y greater than or equal to 11 over 4. We can also write it as though we write it like this. We can write it like close bracket because of equal to 11 over 4 down to what? Infinity. We open it. That can be your answer. We close 11 over 4, then we open to infinity because it's going greater than or equal to. Since it's equal to, there will be a close half open. There will be open. There cannot be closed because it's infinity. So that is just that for range. Then for the domain is for the range. For the domain, the answer for the domain is what? For S is what? From what? Or real number. Or what? Real number. Or real number of X. That is from minus infinity to plus infinity. So that will be the answer for the range and the domain that is was asked in the question, or that is asked in the question. Now, please do well to subscribe and click the notification button. Thank you.